Welcome back to Horoscope TV. It is really great to have you with us. If you are tuning in right now, you are probably looking for a little bit of guidance, or let's be honest, maybe a lot of guidance on what the stars have in store for you. And let me tell you, looking at the charts for this upcoming week, we have quite the journey ahead of us. It is going to be a busy one.
It certainly is. I mean, busy might be an understatement. The planetary alignments we are analyzing are significant, to say the very least. There's a density to the astrological events this week that, we just don't see very often. It's one thing after another.
Exactly. And today we are zooming in on a very specific slice of the zodiac. So if you were born between, say, August 23rd and September 22nd, pull up a chair. This analysis is dedicated entirely to you. We are talking all things Virgo for the week of February 16th to February 22nd, 2026.
And what a week. A pivotal week for Virgos, absolutely.
I was looking at the charts just before we started, and honestly, pivotal feels like an understatement. It's more like seismic. We have a massive solar eclipse, we have the sun changing signs, and then we have some real heavy hitters like Saturn and Neptune meeting up in a way that feels very, I don't know, consequential. It feels like the universe is shouting, not just whispering.
That's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
When we analyze the data for this specific week in February 2026, the overarching theme that just keeps coming up is foundations of change.
Foundations of change. Okay, I like that. It sounds sturdy, which I know our Virgo listeners will appreciate. They like sturdy.
They do. And that's so important because usually when we talk about change and Virgo in the same sentence, it can induce a little bit of anxiety, right? Virgos are the editors of the zodiac. They like order, they like predictability, they like to know exactly what is on the spreadsheet. They want the columns to add up.
Right. I always say if you move a Virgo's cheese, you better have a filed report, probably in triplicate, on why the cheese was moved, where it is currently located, and a projection of its future movements.
Precisely. That is the perfect analogy. But what's so fascinating here is that while the astrological events are intense, and we'll get into that solar eclipse, the geometry of it all suggests that these changes aren't chaotic. They're actually stabilizing. It's not an earthquake that just knocks things over for the sake of it. It's more like a planned renovation. You're tearing down a wall that was wobbly anyway, a wall you've been meaning to fix so you can build something solid and lasting in its place.
Okay, let's unpack this renovation concept. Because I see solar eclipse on the chart, and my brain automatically goes to drama, chaos, sudden endings. But you're saying this is good drama, constructive drama.
It is absolutely constructive drama. We've got the eclipse, the sun shifting into Pisces, and that really rare, really important conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. It is a lot of energy, yes, but for a Virgo, this week is about finally getting the life they actually want, not just the one they're busy maintaining out of habit.
Oh, I love that distinction, the difference between living the life you want versus just maintaining the one you happen to have. That's huge. So let's dive right into the headline event. Tuesday, February 17th, we have a solar eclipse happening. And looking at the chart, this isn't just anywhere. It is happening right in Virgo's house of health and work.
That is correct. It's in the 6th house. And this is precisely why this week is so critical for our Virgo listeners. A solar eclipse, you have to understand, is essentially a new moon on steroids. A standard new moon, which we get once a month, is a nice quiet time to set an intention. Maybe you say, I'm going to try to drink more water this month. It's gentle. But a solar eclipse, that's a portal. It is a major reset button. It doesn't just nudge a door open, it slams one door shut and blasts open a massive gate to something new.
So it's the difference between saying, I'm going to try to eat a bit better, and I am completely overhauling my entire lifestyle, I'm clearing out the pantry, and I'm buying a juicer starting right now.
Exactly. It's a total formatting of the hard drive. And because this eclipse falls in the 6th house, the house that governs your daily routines, your health, your wellness, even small pets, and the actual work you do day to day, it is targeting the very fabric of a Virgo's existence.
The everyday grind, the sound of the alarm clock, the commute, the first coffee, the endless stream of emails, that whole loop.
Yes. The 6th house is all about how you spend your hours. And eclipses have a tendency to eclipse things out of our lives. They remove what's no longer serving the path forward. So for the listener, if there's a habit that has been draining you or a workflow that's just horribly inefficient, this eclipse energy is going to powerfully push it out. It forces the very efficiency that Virgo always craves, but is sometimes too busy managing the old system to actually implement.
That sounds incredibly liberating, but also maybe a little intense. I mean, if I'm a Virgo listening to this and I've been clinging to a bad habit, maybe it's staying up way too late doom scrolling or always skipping lunch to answer emails. Is this the week I just stop?
This is the week you go cold turkey. That's the energy. It really supports those cold turkey changes. It's not about a gradual weaning process. It's about a hard stop and a brand new beginning. The universe is providing the kind of momentum that might have been missing before. If you try to just cut back this week, it probably won't stick. But if you decide right then to fundamentally change the structure of your day, the eclipse wind is right there at your back, pushing you forward.
And you mentioned work as well. This house covers employment, doesn't it? The job itself.
It does. It covers your service to others, your daily tasks. With an eclipse here, we often see sudden, and I mean sudden, shifts in daily responsibilities. This could manifest as a brand new project landing on your desk that completely changes your trajectory at the company. Or it could be a sudden internal realization that the way you've been working just isn't sustainable anymore.
So it's a wake-up call, like a cosmic alarm clock going
A
off.
very loud one, yes.
Yeah.
Look, Virgos are naturally industrious. They're the hardest workers in the zodiac, bar none. They're the ones who stay late to fix the formatting on the final presentation. But sometimes they work incredibly hard at things that aren't actually working for them. This eclipse is a major course correction. It's a chance to look at the daily schedule and really ask, what isn't working here, and why on earth am I still doing this?
That's the listener advice right there, isn't it? If you are a Virgo, just look at your calendar for Tuesday. Look at your to-do list. And if looking at it makes you feel tired or resentful or just stuck, the universe is handing you a cosmic sledgehammer to break it down and rebuild it from the ground up.
And knowing Virgos, they will rebuild it better. They are the architects of routine. They just need permission sometimes to demo the old one. This eclipse is their demolition permit.
I love that. A cosmic demolition permit. Okay, so ideally we harness that. But before we even get to the eclipse on Tuesday, we have to survive Monday, February 16th. And looking at the transits for Monday, it seems like the day has a bit of a split personality. It looks, well, messy.
That is a great way to describe it. Monday is a day of deeply conflicting energies. We have this profound clarity on one side and absolute buzzing chaos on the other. It's a real tug of war.
Let's start with the good news first. I think we need it. I see Mercury is doing something nice with Jupiter.
Yes, Mercury is forming a beautiful trine with Jupiter. Now, Mercury is Virgo's ruling planet. It governs communication, intellect, data, details, travel. So whenever Mercury is happy, Virgo is happy. And Jupiter is the planet of luck, expansion, optimism, and higher wisdom. It's the great benefic.
So when they high-five each other across the sky,
It is a total green light for the mind. This aspect heightens your communication skills to an incredible degree. It makes you incredibly sharp, witty, and persuasive. It's a fantastic day for learning new things quickly, or more importantly, for seeing the big picture that you might have missed when you were stuck in the weeds.
it sounds like the perfect vibe for solving a problem that's been stuck for ages.
Exactly. You know those problems that have been lingering on your desk or in the back of your mind?
Yeah.
The ones where you just can't seem to find a way out. On Monday, under this Mercury-Jupiter influence, the solution might just pop into your head, fully formed. It's a moment of pure intellectual brilliance. You have a cleverness about you on Monday that is very, very potent. You can articulate complex ideas with total clarity.
That sounds amazing, but I can feel it. There's a but coming, isn't there?
There is a significant but. On the exact same day, and usually just a few hours apart in terms of their peak influence, the Sun is forming a hard square with Uranus.
And squares are tension, friction.
Squares are conflict. They are friction. They demand action to be resolved. They don't just sit there. And Uranus is the planet of the unexpected, the electric, the sudden shock. It's the lightning bolt from a clear blue sky.
Okay, so we have intellectual brilliance in one corner and sudden shock in the other. How does that play out in real life? What does that feel like?
Well, the Sun represents our ego, our will, our conscious focus. When it gets into a fight with Uranus, we often get blindsided, or we feel this sudden, almost uncontrollable urge to rebel against our own routines. For Virgo, this specific aspect suggests sudden surprises, particularly around the areas of travel or higher education.
Travel and education. Okay, let me paint a picture. It's Monday morning. I'm a Virgo. I'm bored with my routine. I suddenly have a brilliant idea, thanks to Mercury and Jupiter, that I should pack it all in, move to Bali, and learn to surf. And because of the Sun and Uranus, I might actually just book the non-refundable ticket right then and there.
That is exactly the danger, the impulse buy, the life-altering decision made in a moment of rebellious static.
Connect those dots for us. Why is this such a money danger zone specifically?
Because Uranus creates this false sense of urgency. It makes you feel like you have to act now. It's that feeling of, if I don't book this flight this very second, I'll never go. Or if I don't sign up for this $2,000 masterclass right this minute, I'll be left behind forever. It feels like a now or never moment. But remember, we have that other aspect, that lovely Mercury-Jupiter trine. That aspect gives you a practical eye for value. And it's a big if you choose to use it.
So you have the tool to stop yourself. The emergency brake is right there.
You do. The whole challenge of the day is using it. The advice here is incredibly simple, but hard to follow. Do not spend money on a whim on Monday, period. If you see a course you want to take or a trip you want to book, write it down. Use that Mercury brilliance to research it. Look up the reviews, check the flight paths, analyze the data, but do not click buy.
Wait 24 hours, the classic advice.
At least. Let that Sun Uranus static clear from the air. You don't want to use your hard-earned money on a chaotic impulse when you could be using it for that renovation, for building that solid foundation we talked about.
Right. Save the budget for the actual renovation, not the fantasy escape hatch.
Exactly. Put the credit card in a block of ice in the freezer if you have to, whatever it takes.
Okay, so we navigate Monday's chaos, using our brains but hiding our wallets. Good plan. We hit the massive reset button with the eclipse on Tuesday. Then comes Wednesday, February 18th. The sun makes a big move. It leaves the intellectual, airy sign of Aquarius and enters watery, emotional Pisces.
Welcome to Pisces season. A whole different vibe.
And for Virgo, this is particularly significant because Pisces is their opposite sign on the zodiac wheel, right?
It is. It's the polarity point. In astrology, your opposite sign always represents the other. It activates the 7th house. So for the past month, the sun has been moving through Virgo's 6th, housework, health, grind, details, self-improvement. Now the cosmic spotlight shifts dramatically to the 7th house, which rules relationships, marriage, business partnerships, and all one-on-one connections.
So we are literally moving from the spreadsheet to the dinner date.
That is the perfect psychological shift. We are moving from a focus on the self and the to-do list to a focus on our partners, our close friends, our collaborators.
I can imagine that might actually be a relief for some Virgos, you know, to get out of their own heads and all that self-analysis for a bit.
It is so healthy. We call it an axis for a reason. Virgo and Pisces are two sides of the same coin of service. Virgo serves through practical, tangible means, fixing the sink, organizing the files, making sure the medicine is taken on time. Pisces serves through emotional and spiritual connection, listening, dreaming, feeling, empathizing. This transit invites Virgo to look up from all the work and actually make some sustained eye contact.
Look up from the spreadsheet and make eye contact. I love that. It's like, hello, remember me. There are other humans here.
And not just that they're there, but that you need them. Success during this period, starting Wednesday, comes from working with others. It is not about the solo hero journey anymore. It's about collaboration. You can't optimize a relationship on a spreadsheet. You can't fix it like a car engine. You have to actually participate in it in all its messy, beautiful glory.
Which brings us perfectly to the topic of love and relationships. Because looking at the forecast, the 18th isn't just about the sun moving. Something else is happening in that relationship sector on the very same day. Something that sounds a little cinematic.
Oh, yes. This is one of the most fascinating and, frankly, magical points of the whole week. On February 18th, Venus joins the North Node, also in Virgo's relationship sector.
North Node. That sounds ominous or heavy. What exactly is the North Node? It's not a planet, is it?
No, it's not a planet. It's a mathematical point in the sky, specifically where the moon's orbit crosses the sun's path from our perspective on Earth. But symbolically, it represents destiny, capital D. It represents where we are heading as a soul, our karmic path, our true north. So when Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and what we value, meets up with the North Node, it indicates a fated event in those areas.
Fated? Wow, that's a big word. We don't throw that one around lightly.
We don't, and we shouldn't. We are talking about potential encounters that feel meant to be. If you are a single Virgo, you might meet someone on or around Wednesday who feels incredibly uncannily familiar, almost instantly, like you've known them before. Or you might cross paths with someone who will play a truly significant role in your future, even if you don't realize the full extent of it immediately.
The thunderbolt moment, the meet cute in the movie. And what if you are already partnered? Does it still apply?
Absolutely. For coupled Virgos, it's a significant moment with your current partner. It could be a conversation or an event that cements the relationship's future direction. It feels inevitable, but in a really good way. It's like you both look at each other and just know, oh, this is where we're going. It levels up the entire connection.
The forecast I was looking at mentions deepening bonds by specifically sharing dreams.
Yes, and this links directly into that new Pisces energy. Pisces is the dreamer of the zodiac. Virgo is the doer. To deepen the bond right now, you can't just talk about who was doing the dishes or who was picking up the kids. You have to talk about the vision. Where are we actually going together? What do we dream of? What does our ideal life look like in 10 years?
Vulnerability, that's what that requires.
Vulnerability is the absolute key. You have to open the chest and show the heart. No holding back.
But then, just 2 days later, on Friday, February 20th, we have this massive, and I mean massive, conjunction. Saturn meets Neptune.
This is it. This is the Foundations of Change theme coming full circle. This is where the rubber truly meets the road for the entire week.
Okay, talk to me about Saturn and Neptune, because on the surface, they seem like complete polar opposites. It's like putting ice and fire in the same room.
They are the odd couple of the cosmos, for sure.
Yeah.
Saturn is reality, structure, boundaries, discipline, concrete, stone, time. It's the hard facts. Neptune is dreams, illusion, fantasy, water, fog, no boundaries, timelessness. It's the beautiful mist.
So what happens when the stone meets the fog?
Well, one of two things. Usually the fog dissipates, and you see what is really there. The structure of the stone becomes visible. Or sometimes the stone gives the fog a definite shape. This is a critical discussion point. When Saturn and Neptune conjoin in the relationship sector, it is all about building a solid foundation under the dream.
So making the dream a reality, taking the fantasy and making it tangible.
Exactly. It's the turning point. It's about taking all those romantic, faded feelings from earlier in the week, that beautiful Venus North Node energy, and asking the hard Saturnian questions. Okay, this feels amazing, but can this actually work in the real world?
Sounds like it could be a bit of a harsh reality check.
It is. It absolutely can be. But it's a necessary one. This isn't just fluffy Hollywood romance. This is about getting serious about long-term wants and needs. Can we actually live together? Do our finances align, or are they totally incompatible? Do we want the same things out of life? Can I handle your annoying habits? And more importantly, can you handle mine forever?
So the real challenge here is balancing those practical Virgo-style needs with the emotional Piscean desires.
Precisely. You are learning to balance the Virgo need for a plan with the Pisces-Neptune desire for a transcendent connection. Now, if a relationship is just an illusion, if it was all just a Neptune dream with no substance, Saturn's visit might expose the cracks. And yes, that can be painful. But if it's real, Saturn will help you pour the concrete to make it last a lifetime.
High stakes. That feels like very high stakes.
It is. But for Virgo, this is ultimately reassuring.
Yeah.
They don't want to waste their time and energy on illusions. They want to know it's real. And here's the mantra for the week. Dreams require structure to survive. You can't live in a house made of dreams. You need bricks and mortar. Saturn brings the bricks.
That's powerful. Okay, so we have this heavy foundational relationship work happening, but Virgos are also notoriously career-focused. How does all this energy translate to the office?
Oh, it translates directly. It's all connected. Remember, the eclipse on Tuesday is in the house of work. So we already have that potent new beginning energy coursing through your professional life. Now, analyze that with the Saturn-Neptune meeting happening in your partnership sector.
Okay, so a new project at work plus structure and partnerships.
It means professional partnerships are becoming more structured and defined. You might have been collaborating loosely with a colleague or a client, and now it's time to sign a formal contract. It's time to formalize the alliance. The handshake deal becomes a signed PDF in everyone's inbox. The dream of a joint venture gets a business plan.
And speaking of contracts and negotiations, you mentioned earlier that Monday, with that brilliant Mercury-Jupiter trine, was a key moment.
Yes, Monday is your negotiation day. If you need to sign a deal, present a pitch, or even ask for a raise to match the new responsibilities the eclipse might bring, use that Monday energy. You have the gift of gab and the expansive luck of Jupiter. You'll be more persuasive and clear-headed than any other day of the week. Just don't buy that ticket to Bali.
Right. Channel the brilliance into the career, not the escape plan. Got it. But what about later in the week, say Sunday the 22nd? I see something here about Mars and Chiron.
Sunday is very interesting, a really healing end to the week. We have Mars, the planet of action, aligning with Chiron.
Chiron is the wounded healer, correct.
Right.
Represents our deepest insecurities.
That's right. It represents our deepest insecurities or old wounds that need tending. And Mars is action, bravery, and forward drive. When they align in the work sector, as they do for Virgo this week, it's about having the opportunity to solve work-related issues with confidence and grace.
That sounds lovely. Confidence and grace. Usually, workplace conflict involves passive-aggressive emails or just awkward silence in the break room.
Right. But this energy implies that there might have been a conflict or a lingering sore spot at work. Maybe a misunderstanding with a colleague, or a project that went a little sideways and you still feel bad about it. Mars and Chiron give you the courage to address it, but not aggressively. You address it with the intention to heal it for everyone involved.
So it's not about starting a fight, it's about finding a resolution.
It's a true resolution. It allows you to be the one who says, hey, I think we got off on the wrong foot, or I see where this project went wrong. Let's figure out how to fix it together. And the result is that you are seen as an incredibly valued member of the team. People see that you can handle the messy human stuff without losing your cool or placing blame.
I feel like valued member of the team is the ultimate compliment for a Virgo. That's the goal, right?
It really is. They want to be useful. They want to know that their contribution matters. This week really solidifies that.
Let's talk money. We touched on the impulse buy danger zone on Monday, but generally the forecast says finances look pretty good.
They do. The overview is quite positive as long as you navigate Monday carefully. Security and strategy are the keywords for the week.
Strategy makes perfect sense with that big eclipse.
Yes, the solar eclipse on the 17th. We talked about it resetting health and work, but it also resets how you manage your resources. Eclipses are fantastic for changing how you manage money, not just what you have.
So things like opening a new high-yield savings account or finally downloading a new budgeting app and sticking to it.
Exactly that. Or maybe just completely rethinking your budget from the ground up. The eclipse energy makes you look at your bank statement and ask, why am I spending so much on subscriptions I don't even use? Or why is my savings account not earning any interest? The eclipse shines a bright light on the leaks in the financial ship so you can finally patch them. It's about efficiency again. Always efficiency for Virgo.
And then we get a little reward at the end. We have the weekend boost, Sunday, Feb 22nd.
This is such a lovely aspect, a beautiful flowing trine between Venus and Jupiter,
The two benefics, the good guys.
the two best planets in the sky. We sometimes call them the cosmic Santa Clauses. Venus is money, pleasure, and value. Jupiter is expansion, luck, and abundance. When they form a trine, resources flow easily.
Nice, we all need that.
The prediction here is a lucky day for the bank account. But notice the source. Because Venus is currently in your relationship sector, there's a strong possibility of a gift or a financial boost coming through a partner.
Oh, that's interesting. So maybe your spouse gets an unexpected bonus, and the whole household benefits.
Exactly. Or a business partner lands a huge client that benefits you both. Or, quite simply, someone you care about buys you a really, really nice gift. It's money or value flowing to you through another person.
I will happily take that too. No complaints here.
The feeling at the end of the week, specifically by Sunday, is one of being very secure. You've navigated the Monday chaos, you've done the hard work of the eclipse reset, you've tested your relationships, and now you have this beautiful, soft cushion of Venus-Jupiter support.
That sounds like a great place to land after such an intense week. Now, we can't do a Virgo forecast without talking in more detail about health. It is their domain, after all.
It is the absolute core of the Virgo archetype. And again, that solar eclipse on the 17th is the headline event.
We mentioned cold turkey earlier for bad habits.
Yes, this is the catalyst. If you have been saying for months or years, I need to start lifting weights or I really need to quit sugar, Tuesday is the day. The energy is propelling you forward so powerfully. It's not about willpower in that moment. It's about a structural shift in your reality. The desire to change finally becomes stronger than the craving for the old, comfortable habit.
But we also have to watch out for stress, right? You mentioned that Sun-Uranus square on Monday.
That is the physical danger zone of the week. Yeah. Uranus energy shocks the nervous system. It's erratic, it's electric, sudden schedule changes, unexpected news. It all causes stress. Stress causes cortisol spikes. And for a Virgo who tends to somaticize stress, meaning they feel their anxiety physically in their stomach or their neck and shoulder muscles, this can be physically exhausting and even debilitating.
So scheduling relaxation isn't just a luxury on Monday, it's absolutely mandatory.
Mandatory. You cannot run a machine at 110% capacity while you're also trying to rebuild its engine. You have to take a break. You have to unplug, even for 10 minutes.
And what about the mind? The mental health side of things. You mentioned Saturn and Neptune again.
This is so crucial. Health isn't just push-ups and kale smoothies. The Saturn and Neptune meeting on the 20th really highlights that mental peace is just as important as physical strength.
The mind-body connection, which is another very Virgo concept.
Exactly. If your mind is chaotic and foggy, like Neptune, Your body cannot be structured and strong, like Saturn. You need to bring structure to your mental health routines this week. This might mean finally starting a meditation practice, it might mean calling a therapist, or it might just mean setting firm boundaries on how much news you consume.
And with the sun now in Pisces, that social relational aspect comes in too, I'd imagine.
Right. Activity suggestions for this week would include group exercise classes or even just walking with a friend. Don't isolate yourself when you feel stressed. Use that relationship energy to boost your health. Having a workout buddy keeps you accountable, that's the Saturn part, but also makes it enjoyable and emotionally supportive. That's the Venus and Pisces part.
And finally, that Mars and Chiron alignment on the 22nd regarding healing.
This is such a beautiful proactive energy. Mars gives you the drive, and Chiron is the healer. It gives you the energy to tackle those lingering health issues with a positive can-do attitude. Instead of dreading that doctor's appointment or just ignoring that nagging pain in your knee, you go in thinking, I am going to fix this. I am going to deal with this head on.
Empowered healing, taking control.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Now for my favorite part, compatibility corner. The best and the worst signs for Virgo to interact with this week.
Always a fun dynamic to explore.
So who is the Virgo's MVP this week? Who is the ride or die?
The gold medal, without a doubt, goes to Capricorn.
Capricorn, the sea goat. Okay, that makes sense. Why them specifically this week?
It makes perfect sense given the whole foundations of change theme. Capricorn shares Virgo's practical, hardworking nature. They are both earth signs. They speak the same language of tangible results and, common sense.
You just get it. No explanation needed.
They do. As Virgo navigates the potential chaos of that solar eclipse. Remember, everything is shifting, and that can be scary, even if it's for the best. Capricorn stands there like a rock. They provide that solid, unwavering support.
They aren't going to freak out when you start color-coding your pantry overhaul.
No, in fact, they'll probably ask if you have a label maker they can borrow. Capricorn looks at the chaos and says, okay, here is a plan. Step 1, step 2, step 3. They understand the Virgo need for detail. They won't tell you to just chill. They will help you organize the spreadsheet.
That is true love for a Virgo, helping with the spreadsheet.
It is. And on Sunday, the 22nd, with that lucky Venus-Jupiter trine connecting you both, the outcome for this pair is a real sense of shared accomplishment and security. They can look back at the week and say, we built this. We survived this. Look what we did together. It's a very stable, comforting connection.
Okay, so find yourself a Capricorn this week. Now, for the other side of the coin, who should we maybe avoid, or at least approach with a bit of caution?
The main challenge this week is going to be Sagittarius.
The Archer. A mutable fire sign, I can see it already.
Fire and Earth can be tricky on a good day. But specifically this week, it's a fundamental clash between craving boundless adventure, which is Sagittarius, and needing practical organization, which is Virgo.
I can see the friction point already. It's Monday, isn't it?
It's Monday, the Sun square Uranus. The Sagittarius partner says, this is amazing. Let's book a flight to Bali right now. Let's just go. No plans. And the Virgo, who is already feeling the stress of that aspect, says, are you insane? I have a budget. I have a schedule. I have a life-altering eclipse to manage tomorrow. I can't just leave.
And the Virgo feels stressed and misunderstood.
Extremely. The Virgo sees the Sagittarius as scattered, flaky, or irresponsible. Why can't you just be serious for 5 minutes? Meanwhile, the Sagittarius sees the Virgo as rigid, critical, and a buzzkill. Why do you hate fun? Why are you so boring?
Oof. That is a recipe for a big argument.
And then when you add in the Saturn-Neptune meeting later in the week, they have these completely different ideas about what a dream even is. Sagittarius wants the dream, the vision, the feeling. That's Neptune. Virgo wants the structure, the plan, the reality. That's Saturn. They are pulling in completely opposite directions this week.
So, is it doomed for them this week? Should they just stay in separate rooms?
Not doomed. Never doomed, but difficult.
Yeah.
The advice is that communication will be a real struggle unless active conscious empathy is used. You have to really try to see the world from their perspective. You have to realize that their need for freedom is just as valid as your need for order. But maybe, just maybe, don't try to plan a complex multi-stop itinerary with them on Monday.
Good luck with that on a Monday square Uranus day, a fool's errand.
Indeed. Proceed with extreme caution.
All right, let's wrap this incredible week up with the lucky elements. These are the little cosmic hacks to keep in your pocket to help you through.
Let's start with the palette. The color of the week is navy blue.
Classic. Strong. I like it.
Specifically for the designers, And the very detail-oriented Virgos listening, that's hex code #00008.
Very precise. They'll appreciate that. So why navy?
It fits the theme of the week perfectly. Navy blue represents authority, stability, depth, and calm. It's serious, but it's deep and comforting. It's the perfect color for a week about building foundations. It helps you feel grounded. It commands respect without shouting. It's the perfect uniform for a week of serious building.
Wearing the uniform of success. I love it.
Exactly.
Lucky numbers.
We are looking at 5, 14, 23, 32, 41, and 50.
A lot of fives in there, or numbers that reduce to 5, numerologically speaking.
Yes, the number 5 represents change, freedom, and adaptation, which fits that solar eclipse perfectly.
And just to recap, what are the best dates for our listeners to circle on that calendar in bright red ink?
Definitely circle Monday, February 16th for the intellectual brilliance, not for the impulse spending. Then Tuesday, February 17th for that powerful solar eclipse reset. And finally, Sunday, February 22nd for that beautiful Venus-Jupiter payout.
Fantastic. This has been, well, it's been deep. We have covered a massive transformation in health and work, a fundamental restructuring of relationships, and a solid financial boost at the end. It's a whole life makeover in 7 days.
It really is a week that sets the tone for the next 6 months, at least. The decisions made this week have legs.
So after all of that, what does this all mean? If you had to leave our Virgo listener with one final thought to meditate on as they navigate this powerful week?
I would go right back to that Saturn and Neptune conjunction on Friday. It is such a rare and beautiful thing. And the lesson is this: dreams require structure to survive. If you want the beautiful romance, if you want the robust health, if you want the career success, you cannot just wish for it. You can't just dream it up. You have to build the house for it to live in. This week, the universe is handing you the blueprints and the bricks. Start building.
That is powerful. Dreams require structure to survive. I am going to be thinking about that one all week.
It's the truth of this transit. It's the ultimate reality check for our dreams.
Well, there you have it, Virgos. A week of some heavy lifting, for sure, but with a truly magnificent payoff waiting on the other side. Thank you so much for tuning in to Horoscope TV. We really hope this analysis helps you navigate the cosmic currents ahead.
Stay grounded and trust the process.
And if you enjoyed this discussion, please make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening so you can get notified when the next episode is available. You really don't want to miss what comes next. Until next time.